Congrats on the entire win. You have all the Team Liquid fans here. Now at the beginning of the year, Doublelift promised you Worlds, and not only did he give you that, but back-to-back split championships. Was this the best signing that you've ever made?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
And what about the rest of the team, though?
I mean, this moment obviously feels amazing. This is the first time for me, but for these guys, they've been here before, and really it's for them. I mean, just thank you all, and Peter, thank you. This just feels amazing. I think North America has really not showed up to Worlds for the last 6 years, and I just hope that we can do it this year. You know.
And it looks like the fourth curse is finally lifted from Team Liquid with all of the streaks of success that you guys have had. And just wondering, is this the best iteration of Team Liquid that we've ever seen?
Absolutely. You know, we did it in Dota. We're going to do it in League. Our eyes are set on a world championship. So that's the fucking goal.
And it's been a whirlwind, not just for the Team Liquid organization, but for you yourself. You've started the year social media with the money gun. You were dancing on stage here today, lifted the first banner in the battle arena, and now you guys are going to Worlds. So what's the year been like for you, Steve?
It's been amazing. It's been some ups and downs, you know, like we had a tough middle to split in the first split, but you know, we came out strong. And I think today we showed that we are clearly, without a doubt, the best team in North America. Like, period, the end of story. And I can see all the Cloud9 fans that are here, but you know, so thank you, and we're gonna show up at Worlds, you know?
And what is Team Liquid going to do as an organization to better prepare the players for what's going to be the biggest event of the year?
You know, we've just got to provide all of the support and resources for these guys to do well. We've had one central theme in mind this whole season, which is just mental focus, you know, and we've had sports psychologists and all of these resources, you know, Michael and Dodo and Kane and our sports psychologist, Jared, that have really centered around these guys to be acute and ready. And so we're gonna continue that. We're just gonna have the very best mindset going into the Worlds.
Steve, thank you so much, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
For more in the game, let's hear from those analysts.
Thank you, Avali. Riding high on life, back-to-back 3-0 championships for Team Liquid. We will have an interview with the entire team in just a few minutes, so stick around. But in the meantime, we're welcoming Mithy to help us break down that pretty dominant 3-0 out of Team Liquid. It did seem as the series went on, they had a better and better grasp on the game, the series, and how to attack Cloud9 to ultimately come away with a victory.
Yeah, definitely. TL style has actually just been the same throughout both splits, but they're just so good at playing their own style. Whenever things go wrong, they don't fall back to something else. They just perfect their own style, and yeah, I think that's a very, like, something to be very proud of for them.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to the big stages like the NA LCS finals, it has definitely worked to their benefit here. Since teams haven't been able to come out with the counter to it on game one, they just kind of end up throwing a bunch of different looks at him, and none of them are close to as practiced as what TL has done the whole year in perfecting that style. And that's why we've seen back-to-back 3-0 finals victories for TL.
Yeah, Mark, it's one of the things we talked about coming into the day was the idea that, you know, Cloud9 maybe a little bit more of a jack of all trades, multiple strategies in the playbook. TL, that refinement of a single strategy, and how would those things match up? I know your prediction was 3-2. Cloud9 predicting a very close series in that sense, but on the dive, you had actually said that you could see this series being incredibly swingy if there was no opportunity for C9 to break the mold.
Yeah, I mean, all of us pundits were saying basically we were expecting them to be able to get some advantage against Pobelter, maybe not every single game, but we thought there would be a couple where they got the best of him, but that never happened. I mean, this was probably the closest game with the 20 CS lead and the counter pick with them having entire topside pressure. That's not good enough when Doublelift's down the bot lane.
Yeah, I think it's an important thing to note as we watch Champion Select slide off your screen that there was 3 different looks of rosters for Cloud9. You know, we had the OG, Blabber Jensen, then to Svenskar and Golden Glue, and then taking out Golden Glue, throwing Jensen back in as the last-ditch effort to claw a game back in, and they couldn't quite get it to come together. Let's roll through some highlights.
Noodles on a wall and none of them stuck. I think it was a good attempt to try something different because it was really not working the first few games. And they had topside pressure like we were saying, but then Liquor started falling prone to a lot of Smithy ganks who survived that early pressure.
Yeah, and here's a perfect example of the synergy that TL has, and what they've been working on throughout the whole year is just their three-man. Basically, their whole team plays so well around their bot duo, and they just play so well.
And that was actually a huge moment in the game because Sneaky had just completed Muramana and Iceborne, so it was C9's chance to win bottom lane. I also thought this play, not counting, Xmithy put his stamp on this whole series. Like, so many perfect ganks, amazing vision control the entire time, and really put them in so many positions to succeed.
Yeah, for sure. I think his pathing every game was very smart, very diligent, and even the last game where he fell a little bit behind, he was able to catch up and even make the first proactive play. So yeah, props to him.
I mean, this is definitely a series where every single member of TL had a moment where they looked like they were the series favorite for the MVP. Sion for Impact having monstrous engages every single game. Doublelift winning his lane. Pobelter stepping up and smashing Golden Glue for a game. And Smithy, all 3 games having great pathing and making sure that all those other members had their times to shine.
I mean, what do you do when the team wins 3-0 and so convincingly, who do you give the MVP to?
Yeah, I don't know.
Coach, or?
It wasn't an easy decision.
Break it apart.
We'll get to that reveal shortly. But again, I think one of the things we talked about at the top of the day was the idea of experience on one side against the inexperience on the other. And Mithy, you of all people are equipped to talk about what experience can do for you on a stage, as you've been to many NA LCS finals yourself. And for this Team Liquid squad to actually achieve the 3-0 with so few mistakes, I mean, that margin for error is not large, and yet they still executed on it.
Yeah, it just felt like both teams came in with a strategy in game 1. TL didn't play at their best. Maybe cold hands. Honestly, the stage was pretty cold. But then, yeah, they still were able to win that game, so they got a lot of confidence. They came into the next game with the same strategy. C9 just started crumbling slowly, and then, yeah, eventually just TL was so confident.
I think the crumbling is a great point because playing on stage is so different for a rookie player who has never done anything like that when playing League of Legends before. You're in your bedroom, you're in a scrim room, and after a little bit of time, you get accustomed to the LCS stage. This is different. You can hear a crowd. You can sometimes feel vibrations coming through the floor and stuff. I know people have said that before, and so
right.
I don't
and then
think
just the stakes.
Right, and I don't think it's a surprise that Game 3, when C9 are pressed up against the wall, it's the all-veteran roster, or as veteran of a roster as they can make in there. So I think to that point, it does come true.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see in game, but I could see how TL was growing in confidence. I mean, even Ole, he's a very moody player, and I could see after game 1, he was all over on game 2, and game 3 especially, he was going in first, he was going in ham. He knew he had control over the series.
You talk about the difficulty of deciding an MVP when it's a 3-0, but when it comes to a championship series, there only can be one finals MVP, and today it goes to Xmithy.
Yeah, one of the big questions for the series was who was going to be able to control the mid 2v2, because that's actually how C9 had been beating Team Liquid, but it was Pobelter and Xmithy controlling that 2v2 each and every time. Xmithy also then set up bottom lane to succeed.
This was disgusting.
Beautiful combo by Gragas right there onto the no MR Ezreal. 3 different champions, but a huge amount of control in all 3 games. This guy's been playing since the start. He picks up his 4th title, and this time, the finals MVP.
Yeah, without a doubt, the vision control huge. The ability to, stalwartly prevent people like Svenskeren, known for playmaking, to really make any big plays. Xmithy's dad in the crowd, ever the top supporter for Team Liquid. Doublelift as well. It's great to see him out here still in full force. To hear from the champions who defended their title, let's send it back down to Avali for an interview with the squad.
Thanks, guys. Team Liquid, congratulations, back-to-back championships. Kane, Dodo, I'm looking at you guys because whatever you're doing seems to be working. Whenever I talk to you, it seems like you're always moving from one issue, solved it, and you're focused on the next. So what does improvement for the team look like this year?
일단 케인 코치님, 일단 저희가 전에 얘기 나눴을 때 이제 저희가 물어봤을 때마다 우리가 연습했던 거 이런 거에 잘 된다라고 했는데 이제 이번 연에 어떻게 우리가 이 팀을 발전시켰는지 궁금합니다.
일단 워낙 이제 경력이 오래되고 잘하는 선수들이어서 크게 걱정은 하진 않았는데 사실은 제가 가장 중요하게 생각하는 거는 이제 5명이 하나의 플레이를 만드는 거를 가장 중요하게 생각을 해서 각자의 이제 개인기보다는 좀 더 팀 플레이를 잘 하게 강조를 많이 했던 것 같아요.
So since we are a team with a full roster of veterans, instead of focusing a lot on individual skills or individual performance, I think I really focus on our team's performance, just making sure everyone's on the same page and making sure we're playing as a team.
Who do you think made the biggest improvement throughout this year?
이제 그리고 어떤 선수가 이제 최고 많이 발전하는 것 같은지 궁금합니다.
사실 올해 시작하기 전에 한국에서 이제 부트 캠프를 할 때 올레 선수를 걱정을 굉장히 많이 했는데 정말 많이 발전을 했고 정말 열심히 했고 가장 올해 많이 발전한 선수가 아닌가 생각합니다.
Yeah, so from start of this team, when we were bootcamping in Korea, I think Ole was working the hardest and that he needed the most to improve. And that he worked really hard this year, and I think he is the player who improved the most.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to add? Is there anything that you would like to add?
I think he's the best coach ever I had. He talked to me every single stuff, like even some single word. Like he always talked to me like, "Ole, you have to put word. This is because of this using can farm. You always try to help other teammates. That's your job." He was ex support, and then he's just like a challenger this season. He has better like more happy than me. Like I was like, "Oh, coach, maybe people gonna ask me to retire. What can I do?" But I mean, I really appreciate his job, and I think he's the best coach.
Kane, it sounds like your team thinks that you're the best coach and you're going to be leading them into Worlds. And clearly you've raised a great NA team, but will your coaching style change going internationally?
이제 롤드컵도 진출이 확정됐는데 이제 북미에서는 이제 가장 강한 팀이 되었지만 이제 세계로 나가면서 이제 약간 코칭 스타일이 바뀔 것 같은지.
코칭 스타일은 바뀌지 않고 사실 저희가 저번 MSI에서 굉장히 안 좋은 모습 그리고 실패를 했기 때문에 이번에는 좀 더 타이트하게 정말 우리 100% 끌어낼 수 있도록 이번에 북미 팀 정말 강한 모습 보여줄 수 있도록 열심히 해야겠죠.
Yeah. So instead of changing my coaching style, I think because at MSI we didn't show a good showing, maybe even a failure. So I think this time when we're going to Worlds, we really want to make sure that we want to show that NA is a strong region and make NA proud.
And Impact, you took down your old organization that you made it all the way to quarters at Worlds with. I mean, now that you're on Team Liquid, how far do you think this team is going to go?
Give me a second. I cannot hear.
Yeah, I actually cannot hear as well. Can you repeat the question?
Oh, you want me to repeat the question? Okay, you took down Cloud9, you went to quarters in Worlds with them. Now that you're on Team Liquid, how far is this team going to go?
이제 클라우드9이랑 저번 월드 때 이제 8강까지 가셨는데 이번에 팀 리크저랑은 어디까지 가실 수 있을 것 같으신지?
We are goal is semi-final if possible, but I think coach won't win world too, so just follow coach.
Just follow coach. And you've actually been to Worlds, you've taken it all on SKT in 2013. So when you look at Team Liquid, do you see world champions?
이제 2013년에 SKT랑 이제 롤드컵 다 이기셨는데 이제 우리 팀을 봤을 때 저희가 우승할 가능성이 있어 보이는지.
Of course. Yeah, I trust my teammate. I hope so.
Last thing I want to hit you with, in spring finals, we saw you come out with the JoJo pose. But for your guys' introductions today, we saw you break out the Ginyu pose. So who's coming up with all these ideas?
That was my idea.
스프링 때 끝나고
Peter, you got something to say? What was the inspiration behind that?
I tried to get TSM to do it, but they're too scared.
Wait.
Last year.
Wait, you scared? I say I'm spring season. I say we do that, and you say no.
I wanted to wait for a better time. It's true though. I was too scared too.
We don't have a lot of team cohesion going into Worlds, it looks like. No, I'm just kidding. But Smithy, you took MVP of the final series. I saw you giving a little bit of head nod. So what does that mean to you?
Well, I think it feels pretty good to be recognized. Feels pretty good to be recognized, but I think everyone played their role in this set. Everyone played really, really well, and yeah, I'm really proud of my team.
And you and Doublelift came into the finals saying that you wanted to play without regrets. Did you accomplish that?
I think so.
Great. And you've had arguably the most success on a NA team going into an international event, being 2016 MSI on CLG. So how are you going to use that experience coming into Worlds?
I think MSI and Worlds is like a different beast. Like every time I go to Worlds, I fail pretty a lot. I think I've been to Worlds like maybe 3 or 4 times, and yeah, like I just want to show that this time like my team can go through and win.
And Pobelter, the last time you faced Cloud9 and the Swole Bros, they bopped you. So how does it feel to exact revenge on the big stage today?
I think at that time, the matchup I got bopped in was like Orianna versus Cinderlee Sin, and once you die once, you just kind of start. I mean, obviously I chain fed that game, but it gets really difficult. But basically, I just watched all 5 of the C9 versus TSM games, and then just watched the mid-jungle interactions really closely. And then after that, I just felt so confident that we wouldn't lose in that aspect.
And you're slowly destroying that NA mid meme by proving yourself as one of the top players. So what do you think of yourself as that NA homegrown talent?
I think that first off, there's actually a lot more NA mids starting to grow into the LCS, which is good to see. You know, Golden Glue's been stepping it up. Demonte has actually been doing really well on Echo Fox, so proud of them for that, because for a while it was like I'm the only guy, and then Hai is there sometimes as well. For me personally, I think I actually had like a pretty bad time this split overall. After MSI, I think I really let the community pressure and feedback get to me. You know, people were saying stuff like, oh, you know, there's so many great mids around the world. Korea had BDD, China had Shahu, EU had Caps, and then, you know, Pobelter just can't keep up. And then a lot of that feedback actually really got into my head. And then for a while I was struggling, but it was just like a couple weeks ago actually that I was able to overcome that and just was able to accept like my weaknesses, my faults. Really happy I was able to play well today.
You played well today and you earned the results. You're moving on to Worlds, or rather you're returning to Worlds with Ole and Smithy, only this time now you have Doublelift and Impact. So going into Worlds with this team, same question to you. How far are you gonna go and what do you think of this team?
Whenever I get asked this question, I always say the same thing, which is I just try to take every match one game at a time. So, you know, focus on getting out of group stages first, and then if that's possible, then the next goal is possible. I don't know if it's possible to just say like straight out of the bat, yeah, we're gonna win Worlds, but just one step at a time.
I know you love giving me that answer, but what's your dream?
What's my dream?
Dream for Worlds.
To win Worlds. That's like everybody's dream.
I mean, it's a good dream to have, but moving on to our MVP, Peter Pang. Back-to-back championships. I talked to Steve before this, and he said that when you signed with him, you promised him Worlds, you got it, and you also threw in back-to-back championships as like a signing bonus. So when you were first signing, is this the success that you imagined for the team?
Yeah, this is the success I was definitely imagining. I didn't know if we were going to be able to do it, but I think halfway through this year, I really realized like the potential of this team. You know, we were the only team at MSI that was able to beat RNG, and you know, after doing that, I just know we can do anything.
And speaking to that, you've always been kind of the core component of the team. You said before that you've asked the team to try to play around you, and they followed you. So with the, what does all the trust of your teammates really mean to you?
You know, it is a lot of pressure, and then I actually took a backseat role for a few years in the last like couple of years where I didn't really want to be like a focal point for the team because I was kind of like traumatized by Worlds. And
Yeah, I think like on this team, everyone puts so much faith in me, and like Eugene's always willing to roam for me, and he like instantly TPs every time we fight bot. Impact instantly TPs or like uses his global every time we fight bottom. Like everyone on the team actually, like Jake and Ole too, they always like look out for me. They put down words where I want to farm. Like they really like they just help me out like all game long. So yeah, I really appreciate that. I mean, my playstyle doesn't work unless they do that for me. So I'm gonna come to this world. It's pretty fearless. I'm just gonna forget about what happened.
And you've been on some of the most historically successful teams, CLG, TSM, and now Team Liquid. Do you think Team Liquid is the best team that you've ever been on?
Yeah, of course. We're right here.
You guys are here. And Ole, I want to come to you. With this split, it's been almost like a brand new mental health Ole. So tell me about the mental shift that you had this split and how it affected your performance.
Actually, after MSI, I realized confidence was the key that I like. That's why I failed. Like, actually, to play with Peter sometimes it's hard because really hard, guys. It's a really hard job. And actually, I drank alcohol like this summer. You know, like I never drank alcohol before. Like after I got feedback from Peter, I just went to drink alcohol and then. I did. It's okay. And I got confidence a lot. Like I changed myself. I have been evolving myself a lot. And then like now like I'm really confident. And we actually, as Peter said, we beat RNG. Like I'm pretty sure with my confidence back, we can beat any other bot duo in World Championship. I will make sure Peter can be best AD carry in the world.
Peter, quick side tangent. What are you doing to your supports?
I just make alcoholics, I guess.
Ole, I want to move back to you. I mean, you're heading into Worlds, which is going to be one of the toughest events that you've come across. There's no time for breaks. There's no room for doubt. So how are you going to tackle this pressure and stay focused on taking the victory?
I think just follow coach. You know, Kane is the best coach. So
agreed.
Yeah, I just chill and Kane say something. Yes, coach, I follow. He's the best.
Yes, coach. Well, he is good up there. But I mean, look at everyone else that we have in the audience. All of these Team Liquid fans. Is there anything that you guys would like to say to them for cheering you guys on for the entire split? Double lift?
Jesus, put me on the spot. Man, I don't know. I just love the fans. You guys are awesome. I hear your cheers like when I'm playing the game, the floor is shaking. So, yeah, thank you guys.
Is there anything anyone else would like to throw in?
Oh yeah, shout out to my family who flew up here from Orange County, California to come on and support me. Really happy we won. Would have sucked if we lost, but we won.
We have Smithy's. Yeah, Smithy's dad is in the audience again, correct?
Sorry? Your family.
Your dad, your family.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my parents are always like there when I play, even in LCS. Like they're always there every weekend, and I really appreciate them coming in. And they all came here to cheer for Team Liquid. And yeah, I love you guys.
That's definitely a proud parent moment. But everyone, one more time for Team Liquid. Guys, we'll see you at Worlds. Back to the desk.
Done.
Thank you, Avali. Congratulations again to Team Liquid. Back-to-back 3-0 championships. There was a couple key words that I heard throughout that interview. Fearlessness, confidence, the things that they're going to need to continue moving forward and actually put up a performance worthy of cheering on for North America at Worlds.
Yeah, and I think Steve said it pretty well when he said he felt like they were definitively the best team in North America after winning back-to-back championships, and I think that's a great bit of confidence to have going into Worlds.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue that point. It is interesting to, to kind of hear the team talk about the play style and again kind of reiterate some of the things we talked about where Team Liquid really has honed in on one strategy, even comparing themselves to some degree to RNG, who many believe is the top team in the world at the moment and might be challenging for a world title themselves.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't want to get put in Uzi's group again. That's been something that has happened to Doublelift. Mithy was in Uzi's group last year as well when he was at Worlds with G2. not the best thing to be put in, but I understand why they want to replicate that play style now that we've seen RNG had that MSI success and the back-to-back 3-0s for TL.
Talk to me about this bot lane for Team Liquid. Just as they stated, Ole stated that if they go in with confidence, they think they can stack up against any other duo in the world. How do you echo or feel about that sentiment?
I think if they match up against someone that plays the same style as them, it will come down to who's like better mechanically. But like right now, they just play winning lanes. They control the wave bot very well around their jungler, around their TPs, and they gank it. Once the lane has the pressure, they control the drakes, the map. You know, they play well around that style. Just is that going to work against a team that does this exact same thing and maybe has Uzi instead of double lift? No offense, you know.
Oh,
but
yeah, it's a good question to be raised. I mean, it was interesting to watch C9 give the respect over to that lane. We saw the Thresh ban in the first 2 games alongside that Rakan. They did have to drop it in the 3rd game, and then the prowess of the Ole Thresh shone through alongside that Ashe. So a terrifying bot lane, to say the least. We'll have to track their success towards Worlds. And again, there is a little bit of downtime in the sense of we won't see them now for a little bit as we'll run the gauntlet ourselves. And so having that keen mind fixated on what they need to improve, following Coach Kane, as Ole said, just do what Coach says. I mean, we'll see if he has the tools in his toolbox to help coach these guys into a semifinal state, as Impact said he hopes for.
Yeah, listen, the meta always changes before Worlds. So if they're just going to say, all right, Psy on top, Aurelia Sej mid sometimes, Kai'Sa first pick, that's probably changing by the time Worlds happen. So while they do have so many of the fundamentals very well practiced, as Mithy pointed out, and the teamwork very well practiced, they're going to have to be able to keep up on it and get good on all those new picks.
Yeah, the good thing about TL is that even though they have one style, they do pick up new champions. It's not like they just play the same champs over and over. They just try to follow a system, which is winning bot lane, tank top, or at least someone in the team that can engage, and then just, play around that decent mid-jungle duo that has playmaking, and then, just follow through the bot lane.
The only downside is that the finals was so convincing, it's hard to pick apart for things to improve for the coach.
Ah, God, what a terrible situation to be in, Mark.
I'm sure once they start screaming the international teams, right?
They'll see some more
they'll
explosive
pick up on some things.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, you saw the players giving high fives and handshakes on their way out of the arena. Of course, that's to the adoring fans who have stuck by them all season long for years and years and years, waiting for these championships to come to the Team Liquid camp. And throughout the year, you've been sending in tweets, and you didn't hesitate to take to Twitter in finals weekend. So here's a few that caught our eye, brought to you by Acer Predator. First up, David Rook tweeted out the play that started out the series with a bang. What a dodge by Double Lift.
And it's 30 seconds ahead of the Dragon.
has found one. Oh, comes across. The shoot by Double Lift. Absolutely beautiful.
Black Shield, honorable mention to the Black Shield there, because that dodge probably not possible if the Black Shield doesn't come in.
You would think not. You would think the E, even though it's, would have knocked him back and maybe got enough damage to kill him. So good combo between Double Lift and Ole, but the flashier part was definitely the outplay, not the point and click Black Shield.
Absolutely. Next up, Peter Orwa called Svenskaren's kick out for exactly what it was. Clean.
Don't go.
Okay. I still have flash ulti. I go. Kai'Sa.
That play was attempting to bring C9 back into the series. That could have tied it up 1-1. Even though this was a 3-0, it did remind me a fair bit of the 100 Thieves final we got to see in the spring split, where there were close moments within the games, just never able to bring it back to the victory. So C9 did have some high moments.
And I do think it's the kind of thing where you hear how important instinct is in the game. Everyone's saying, don't go, no. And you hear Sven kind of go, I still have flash kick.
Yeah, I'm just going to get him.
And then I'm going to do it myself, because I don't have time to clearly communicate. So he kicks him, and he's like, there's your Kai'Sa. And you can't get that play out verbally. You just have to do it.
I mean, understanding that we were staring down the barrel of a Team Liquid victory, you did kind of let it slip that maybe Svenskeren would be grabbing MVP if somehow Cloud9 clawed it back in the series because of plays like that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of what you see from a veteran. Sometimes, like you're saying, you have to go through with your instinct, and being able to balance both knowing that you don't really have to go, but that you can go is what makes a good pro player.
Low percentage plays, but are they the only percentage chance we have to win? Sometimes you got to take it. Make sure to keep those tweets coming throughout the rest of the year so we can keep the conversation going into Worlds. And with the summer champion decided, we have 2 of North America's Worlds participants locked in, meaning the regional qualifier will determine our 3rd participant. Let's take a look at the bracket presented by Jersey Mike Subs. The tournament takes place next week. Series 1 on Friday pits Echo Fox versus Clutch Gaming. Then the winner of that match faces TSM, Mithy here, with the last remaining team facing Cloud9, as they still have a shot to be the top dog in the gauntlet. Looking at this and the way it's broken out, what are your guys' immediate thoughts on the gauntlet?
I see a TSM jersey next to me, and I see a TSM logo in the gauntlet. Are you on TSM? How you feeling?
I mean, feeling excited, knowing that I have another chance to go to Worlds, you know?
Were you a Cloud9 fan hoping to bump into 100 Thieves again in the gauntlet after you just beat them in the 3rd, 4th place match? Or are you of the opinion that, like, we need to prove ourselves anyways, so we'll take whoever comes?
I'm going to go with a half-half on that one.
Okay. I mean, you're not going to look.
At the end of the day, it's a little bit of both, you know?
Yeah,
if I want to go to Worlds and I want to do well, I also want to have my redemption over C9, right? But
yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, the winner of that tournament will seed into the play-ins as NA's number 3 seed, where they will join Chaos Latin Gamers, Infinity Esports, Direwolves, Ascension Gaming, Gambit Esports, and Kaboom Esports. When it comes to groups, we have KT Rolster, Afrika Freaks, Flash Wolves, Mad Team, Royal Never Give Up, Team Liquid, Fnatic, and Team Vitality.
Yeah, you're seeing it fill out pretty quickly here. Only a few more teams left to qualify for the World Championship. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's happening over in the LPL, actually. There's some really strong teams there this split. For so long, it's been total Korean dominance, but RNG, the team that's already qualified, MSI champions, Rift Rival champions. I'm going to say RNG are the Asia Games champions because it was 4/5 of their team playing on that roster.
Right.
So, and they're not even the best regular season team in that league. That's actually Invictus Gaming. So I want to see what happens in that final.
2 LCK representatives locked in as well, but of course the race for the 3rd seed from LCK, very interesting with the likes of Griffin. You know, the idea of hot young players who have come in and kind of created chaos and a storm in the LCK against a couple remaining top dogs, some of the more cemented organizations still in the running for that.
Yeah, SKT is in.
SKT's in there. They have a chance.
I was going to skip right over them. We're talking about Kingzone.
Give me your percentage chance on SKT going to Worlds.
I'm a fan.
All right. That's I'll take that.
Just want to see Faker again.
Yep. Kingzone, Gen G, though, the other organizations that you were probably going to reach for when talking about the Gauntlet run coming out of Korea. Up next on Twitch and YouTube will be a special presentation of the Team Liquid press conference. And if you need more league action after that, stay tuned for the rebroadcast of the EU LCS Finals going live right after. Now for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you to Mithy for joining us, to all of our guests throughout the days, and thank you to you for watching at home. We'll see you next week for more of the North American Regional Qualifiers. Good night.